LSUODYSSEY.COM. Lon Philip Sullivan here with another Odcast for y'all. Wow. Fall camp underway. It's lit. Not gonna quit. Too legit. All of our guys look fit, except for a few dudes in gold jerseys. But you know what? I think it's just precautionary. So that rhyme didn't totally work. Either way, fall camp has been interesting. If you are not intrigued by this LSU squad, you are not an LSU Tigers fan. At least not one I want to talk to. If you don't think this team's capable of winning a championship, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. If you don't believe that this team is capable of making a college football playoff, that's fine. That's your opinion, fine. If you don't think this team is capable of winning an SEC championship, that is fine as well. But you cannot tell me, look me in the eye, and tell me that this LSU Tiger squad is not one of the most intriguing squads in recent memory, where there's just certain types of characters on this team. There's certain guys on this team that you're rooting for, that you're pulling for, that you're saying, I want to see what that guy does. It seems like every LSU fan out there has their guy in each position that they really want to go for. You know, like Carter the Power. He's a big Dre Jenkins fan. Or, there's a bunch of different people. Jordy Collada. He's a big Max Johnson fan, like we are here at LSU Odyssey. Jacob Hester, he loves Corey Kiner. He loves what he sees from Corey Kiner. He spoke to Corey Kiner for an hour or so and thought he was a great young man. He's seeing great things there. You know, I've got my guy at the running back position usually. Usually I'm going to say Ty Davis Price. I try not to play favorites so much like people do, because I'm trying to give equal time to every Tiger. I'm trying to represent every Tiger out there. But there are those guys that I'm just like, that's the guy for this position. And LSU fans, all of you guys, you have those guys. This team is littered with a bunch of potential stars everywhere. Everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to be the guy or the girl, the lady who says, I picked that. I picked that guy. I picked that right. I said that quarterback was going to be great. Max Johnson's great. I said that one of the freshman running backs was going to start, and now look, one of them are starting out of nowhere. I was the one who said that this freshman receiver was going to be good. I was the one who said, that's going to happen a lot. You're going to see that a lot, and that's fine. That's what makes sports great, is the lunacy of it all, the debate, all that. But getting down to brass tacks of who will be those guys, now that's more difficult coming in just a fourth day of fall camp. The media hasn't had enough time, to get a good viewpoint of these guys. But LSUODYSSEY.COM has. Okay? The media, we wish we could be down there like hell. Certain circumstances are keeping us from going down there, but we will remedy those very soon. We will be down there at least some point this fall. And the media are only getting, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 15 minutes here, that type of thing. And then they go inside and they do indoor practices, or sometimes the media is just shunned outside. Thing is, we've gone to certain lengths here at LSUODYSSEY.COM to find out exactly what's going on behind the scenes at LSU fall camp. because this is one of the most intriguing LSU teams in recent memory, and we want to know what the hell is going on at every position battle. We want to know. There's all this weird stuff with Garrett Dellinger playing guard, and all this different. Anthony Bradford out at left tackle, on the second string. Just all this random stuff. I want to see how Xavier Hill is doing in even more detail. He looked like he was winning his one-on-ones really well. The footage we've gotten from these 4 days, it's, I could tell you how lengthy it is. I could tell you how many reps it shows, but it doesn't really mean much to me, because at the end of the day, these are cone drills. They can only show you so much about these players. Really. I know there's going to be people in the media, that guy looks great. Looks great because he's big and he's flexing. And you can see his muscles. And, he's going to be great. He's going to be great this year. Look at him. He pushed that dummy. Look at him. Look at him. His legs are pumping during those cone drills. That's great. That's great. The guys who are going 100% on these drills aren't going to be the guys who are playing, who are going to be those leaders. I get it. That's what you look for. But at the same time, we've also got to be patient with this. These players will reveal themselves. These leaders will reveal themselves. I have my viewpoints, but they're educated guesses just like yours. But at the same time, what we're listening to lately, members of the LSU staff telling us, what's going on here and who they're actually looking to. Who could compete for these positions? And, we're hearing a lot where Jontre Kirkland's name is involved. Jontre Kirkland has been at LSU since the dawn of time. He's one of those players like Austin Deculus, Miles Brennan. Avery Atkins could even be in this list, I guess. He's been there for so long. So many. There's Cam Lewis, Glenn Logan, Neil Farrell Jr., Todd Harris, Jared Small. There's a litany of guys on this team you wouldn't believe who've been there since 2016, 2017. It's crazy. And because of the COVID extra year stuff, of course. But, and it's also a very smart opportunity taken by a lot of these players to return for the super senior or super junior or whatever circumstance each player is in, to come back and take this chance to improve that NFL stock, to win another championship with LSU. And, you don't just look at those names of players. This guy, that's a leader, that's a guy who's going to start. That's never what happens at LSU. Anybody who's been an LSU fan long enough, a real LSU fan, knows every season, halfway during the year, there's a major lineup shakeup. And I'm talking like a guy who is a definitive starter is not even on the team anymore, or is hurt or he's, not on the field because he's hurt or suspended, or he's way out of form, or, he's just been replaced by a second stringer, what have you. There's going to be a big lineup shakeup at least halfway in the season. And do LSU have the depth to absorb that as well? Could that happen on the offensive line and LSU absorb that? Could we lose an Ed Ingram and absorb that? I don't think so without taking at least one loss. I think Ed Ingram being out of the lineup, that's one loss on the schedule. You can't lose Ed Ingram. I cannot stress that enough. Can't. He improves Cam Wire, and when he's there, he improves Liam Shanahan. You saw it like I saw it last year against Missouri, where I believe it was Cam Wire stepped in at left tackle like he was in the second game against Vanderbilt. And, he was playing great against Vanderbilt when Ed Ingram was in the game. and Ingram goes out late against Vanderbilt and goes down, ankle or something like that. He's out for Missouri, and Cam Wire struggled. We could barely run the ball against Missouri. It was a shambles. And so the point is, losing certain guys at this point in the season, I don't know if LSU can do that. Just because they're a leader, we can't lose any more bodies. There's a lot of guys out there on this LSU team who have just untapped potential. Think about where people thought of Clyde Edwards-Helaire in December 2018. What did they think of him in December 2018? I loved Clyde. I saw what he did against Georgia that season. It just torched Georgia up. I immediately fell in love with that player just because he reminded me of Warwick Dunn. And but there's so many of these players that just strike when the iron's hot, and they're just suddenly in the door on an opportunity, and they take it at LSU. There's going to be guys all over the field, all over this roster who do that. Fall camp won't be the final decider of what this team's finished article will be at the finish line, wherever LSU ends up. We will be revealing our record prediction and all of that very, very shortly. Coming at the end of this week, we will be revealing our season prediction schedule, game by game. And you should definitely want to tune in for that, because it's not going to be what you expect. But I moved down this list. Kayshon Boutte, he's going to be that guy in the receivers. He's going to be that guy, unquestioned. I don't even have to say that. Blitnikoff, just give him it right now. But is it going to be Coy Moore? Is it going to be Dre Jenkins? Is it going to be Chris Hilton? Is it going to be Brian Thomas Jr.? Is it going to be Deion Smith? Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is rough and tumble. I like his vibe. He's he's gritty. I like that. And then you got, Brian Thomas Jr., I think he's going to see a lot of time as a red zone target. Use that basketball size. But then Deion Smith, I really like him as a very strong intermediary target. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. Those freshman receivers are going to be awesome. But the real question I have, because I'm not expecting any of those guys to really step up and be the number 2 guy. That's kind of too much to put on these kids, right? I don't think so at all. In fact, I think probably most likely one of these freshmen will take that number 2 spot. But my biggest question is, will Dre Jenkins, Coy Moore, Trey Palmer, John Trey Kirkland, will one of these guys take that number 2 spot? Will one of those guys grab the number 2 wide receiver spot by the upside of the spine and literally lift it up off of its legs, rip the cartilage off of that spine until it is hanging there, and say, "This is my number 2 wide receiver spot next to Kayshon Boutte"? When is someone going to do that? I've heard about Coy Moore catching 6,000, 8,000, 9,000, a billion thousand, some are a billion thousand catches, whatever it's called. I want to see that. I want to see it. And I've seen footage of him catching the football. I love it. But Coy Moore, I want to see him extend his route tree. He's way too intermediary. I want to see him get a little bit deeper on his routes. I want to see if he can catch the long ball. In fact, I know he can go up and get it. And so I want to see Jake Peets dial that up more. But what I really want to see from Coy Moore is the yards after catch that I know he can produce. He can be an explosive player after the catch. There's a reason we want to use him in the backfield. Okay? Now, there's also a bunch of speed all over this wide receiver group. And so I think what we're going to see is instead of this really wide, expansive offensive setup, of course, the spread, I think it'll set up like that. But I think when all is said and done, the ball is snapped, it's going to be a very narrow-looking bunch formation type attack, almost like a stacked type of attack. And you're going to have guys moving all over across that formation, back and forth. You're gonna see a ton of stuff going down. I mean, Peets is going to be as creative as they come. I've already seen it from the footage. He's not afraid to use guys out of their element. But he also seems to really just already identify his players' strengths, at least as far as I see it. You know, he's already looking for Trey Palmer to be one of these explosive kind of noodle backs, as I call them, where they're motioning across the formation. They get those little, what would we call it? A sweep. Yeah, get one of those sweep tosses, one of those little pitch passes that ends up being called a reception instead of a rush. The plays that like Jordan Jefferson would run in 2019. Those type of plays have been run already in practice with Trey Palmer, with Coy Moore, with John Trey Kirkland, with Chris Hilton, with Deion Smith. So there's already a bevy of speed on this team. I'm probably even forgetting a name because they were running it with a bunch of different guys, trying to see who actually could get that edge, who could get that edge and take that edge and bend that edge to their will. And I gotta say, Chris Hilton was the guy who got the most reps in that kind of package. Coy Moore was second. The selective footage I've gotten, it's not, the entire thing. It is a sizable chunk, but it's not the entire thing. So, maybe LSU has different data that Coy Moore, in fact, had the more reps. I'm just saying what I've seen, what I've heard. But, moving on out of the receivers, running back. I think Ty Davis-Price has been carrying himself like a leader. I think he's been carrying himself like a number one back. Don't you think? Don't you think that? Come on. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You talking to me? Oh, yeah, I'm talking to you. And, yeah, I think Corey Kiner is also really, really good back. I think Corey Kiner, he's shown that he has that leg strength. He's shown that speed, too, with the leg. Like, he just was running those drills with fantastic precision. He's got that cutting ability. He's got that, his legs are like pistons. They're able to, like, and stop, go around the corners, kind of pick and choose he just has this way about him where it seems like it's almost gliding, like it's too easy. And then you see Armani Goodwin, too, who looks built. I mean, this cat is a track star. So think about the type of track training involved. And then you think that dude was also doing track training as well as football. 2-a-days in the Alabama humidity and heat. That dude's cut. He just came into Tommy Moffitville and got even more cut, even more built. I mean, Tommy Moffitt was like, give me a milkshake, let me sit down and just talk to this guy, because I don't have to do much. I mean, there's certain guys on the team coming in who, need to build that weight, build that size. Armani Goodwin is not one of them. I really am excited to see what Armani Goodwin can do. He has that